Greetings. This is Sandy Herrick. I am a licensed resident in marriage and family therapy. I also provide life coaching and wellness services through my company, Ignite Best Practices. Please check out my page online at www.ignitebestpractices.com. Today, I'm going to bring you the topic of brain scans, mental health, and remedies. Some common questions and some basic answers. It's a beginning point. Do your own research and your due diligence and make the decisions that best fit your goals. Question number one: what mental illnesses can show up on brain scans? So, brain scans like MRI, CT scans, PET scans, this, whether they are with a functional MRI, which is they're with colors, contrasted MRI, they show different things in your brain, such as how much volume of gray matter do you have? It can help you measure that, how thick it is, what shape is in it. Are there any weird things growing in your brain, a tumor or whatnot? And studies have accumulated information that the most common mental health disorders like depression, ADHD, and anxiety will have something not regular in reference to the volume of the gray matter, for instance, the thickness of it, the shape of it, and if you have something growing in a certain part of your area, it might be making you more aggressive, uh, or more attenuated. So yes, some things have been showing up in the most common ones. Okay. Can a brain CT scan show stress? Stress is more of a symptom, of a sign, a behavior, or a manifestation. Um, it's not a mental health disorder in itself. But you could see in a CT scan this brain activity that is firing up. And when you have excess bed activity, is that is associated with anxiety and obsessive thinking, it will show up. If you are a little bit more calm and relaxed when they're doing that CT scan, it's going to show less. That's again, this will show like in intense colors, not so intense colors. Okay. Now, question that I have: does the insurance pay for that? And the basic answer is no. So, because they're not considered medically necessary for me to uh, get a diagnosis of the mental health disorder. We go with by the symptoms and the history and other things. So this information that has been gathered has been mostly through research or people that have gotten their own brain scans done by cash. So let's say that I'm having some aggression or I'm having some severe depression and that was not normal and I just had a car accident or I banged my head accidentally on a tree limb when I was cutting it. And I passed unconscious and I had a concussion. The doctor that is seeing me and it's noticing my aggression or maybe extreme depression or excessive anxiety or weird behaviors might be curious to say, did she have a traumatic brain injury impacting her mood or impacting her neurobiology or impacting her neurochemistry? Okay. So now it's considered medically necessary. So keep that in mind. Okay. When your doctor says, no, we're not going to do one, don't be too upset. There has to be a medically necessary reason, such as ruling out a tumor as the reason for your depression. Okay. So, um, brainwave activities. Uh, what are the brainwave activities in ADHD? All right. Most patients with ADHD, okay, most of them, not everybody, have the same pattern, okay, that consists of an abundance of the theta or the delta, which are the slow waves. They go like this. So they have a lot of that and not enough of the beta ones. Beta is when you are focused and alert, like you're studying, getting a test, you're doing it, okay? But when you are like this, that's when you're doing your touch and goes with a pencil. Okay. So people with HDAD, they have too many of this and not enough of this ones. And what happens is that when you have too many of this, you're highly suggestible. So slow brain waves equals high suggestibility, high distractibility. It's not that you hyper vigilant about everything that's around, like evil square, evil square. It's just squirrel, squirrel. So everything suggests to you, okay? So it's squirrel, squirrel, not evil square, evil squirrel. Okay, it's not the same thing as hypervigilant. Is that you have no discretion on where you're gonna put your attention because you're going with the flow. You're watching everything, and it might look like you're doing it fast. It's because you don't have that resistance because of you don't have no focus, which will help you resist the temptation to look at things that are not important to your goal. Okay, so remember slow brain waves, highly hypnotizable, highly suggestible. Okay. Fast brain waves is a lot of focus. Okay. Boom. I cannot see. But if you have too much of it, you might miss the bear that's here is about to eat you. Okay. So you have to have a good balance of both of them. And also patients with ADHD, they tend to have most people with ADHD, they tend to have a smaller amygdala. Okay. As far as the volume. Um, so that causes to present less activation in the area of the left frontal pole than other people. Okay, and they are thinking that that might be connected. So yes, that will pick up on a brain scan, but it's not like we're going to do a brain scan, you're going to be cured of ADHD. So if you're presenting the behavior with the symptoms, there's not going to be a brain scan needed. That's extra. um, is ADHD associated with depression and anxiety? The answer is almost always. It's possible. Uh, happens to coexist a lot with people with ADHD. So many people with depression and anxiety that also have ADHD, one precipitates the other, like the lack of functioning about executing tasks, okay, organizing, planning, and executing the plans. We call that executive function skills because it comes from the executive brain system of top down. Step one, step two, the lack of ability to focus on that because you're not discriminating against your environment and you are looking at everything, okay, not necessarily paying attention to anything because you don't have enough focus, okay, uh, causes you to not turn in your homework on time or not turn in that report you were supposed to do on time, or balance your checkbook, or even prepare properly your timing to arrive at places, when you're supposed to. And that causes you a lot of social problems, which start causing you a lot of self-esteem problems. So you're going to experience anxiety and depression as a result of uh, the lack of executive function skills, uh, that is causing you to be late, to not be organized, to accidentally bounce the checkbook again, or not know where you put your keys, and now you're like 30 minutes behind because you had to look for it, and um, air tags and tiles helps with that. Is I'm sorry, I answered that one. How can I improve my beta brainwave? That's a great question. Well, what can I do? What can I do? So here's in the remedy part. You can do exercises and you can change your diet. When we eat too much sugar, that doesn't help us to stay focused. That just gives us a boost of energy and then it gives us a crash. That doesn't help the brain waves. There's a certain doctor that it's into the brain 100%. And he says if it's going to damage your brain, don't eat it. If it's not good for your brain, don't eat it. Okay. It's a good basic thing. Is this going to hurt my brain? Is this going to, because it's going to hurt your brain waves. Okay. Then don't eat it. Exercise also helps you reduce your tension and your stress in your body, stress in your mind and soul, makes you feel more alert and more mindful. I don't care if you're lifting weights. I don't care if you jogging on a treadmill or if you're doing yoga, you focus mindful. Your mind is full of that moment. Mindfulness, okay? Your mind is full of that moment intentionally and deliberately. And that helps you manipulate those brainwaves into more better, okay? Because you're doing if you feel you're drifting, gently bring it back. That's what meditation is about. So exercises, I just added meditation, but exercise and diet are two good ways to improve your beta brainwaves distribution, okay? um, what triggers beta waves? Remember, those are the focus and alert. You don't want to have too much beta because then you're too alert and you cannot go to sleep. What triggers beta waves? These waves are primarily um, seen when you're awake, but that doesn't mean that you won't happen. You can get awakened from a terrifying dream and become super alert. At that point is when you have your beta. Okay. Um, so, but they commonly happen when you are in states of awakeness. Okay. So, an increase in beta power can be caused by stress, a strong emotion, or tension. And I remember when I would stay up doing a paper that had to be in by 3 a.m. My time, and I've been typing for like 10 hours and reading and, you know, editing and stuff like that. By the time that I turned in that paper at 2:59 a.m. my time, I couldn't go to sleep until 6 or 7 o'clock. You would have thought that I would be terrifyingly tired, but I wasn't because I have been so stressed out and tense that my high beta was all over and for a few hours before being able to sleep. What causes high theta? Theta, T. Think about trance and theta, like trance dances, hypnotic dances, okay? A higher range of theta brainwaves are commonly found when we're engaging in complex, inward focused problem solving, like you're doing a math computation in your head, you know. If you're too much in your head, you see the bear over here, you don't see it actually. Or you're not processing, it eats you. Okay, so that's why it's not good, right? So you have to have an enough balance. You want to be inwardly but safe, right? So doing a math problem in your head, doing deep meditative or hypnotic state, that will help you be in a theta wave. Um, I want you to think about theta waves as trance states, inward focus, autopilot. You're driving, you have a very stressful day at work, and now you're driving home. All of a sudden, you're there and you don't remember how you got there. You don't remember the route. Theta waves, trance. You were in a trance. Okay. So, what brain waves reduce anxiety? Brain waves that are between 8 and 11 hertz. Okay, in the help the brain to be relaxed. Okay, so if I have 8 and 12 hertz in my brain, that means I'm relaxed. Okay, we're still learning a lot about these frequencies, but there is some evidence and documented that these alpha waves play an important role in our general well-being. So getting your brain to be popping at 8 to 12 hertz, it's very indicated if you want to lower your depression, combat your anxiety, be able to produce more, like if you have to produce a presentation or for work or create a dress or anything creative, uh, being in between 8 and 12 hertz of brainwave, which is alpha, it's very conducive to that. Okay, it's relaxed but creative, not suggestible. So, can yoga reduce anxiety? My favorite question. Yoga is a form of exercise. It focuses on breathing, stretching, and relaxing. That's it. Not how good you do it, how hard you do it. We're not talking about competitive yoga. We're talking about breathing, stretching, and relaxing. Okay. A lot of medical doctors believe that it can help with symptoms of anxiety. It does this by increasing your brain waves, the type of brain waves that you need to have, and reduces the level of the stress hormones, cortisol primarily, in the body, and help people feel calm. Um, isn't that what medication, prescription drugs is attempting to target? I'm not saying don't take the medication. That is your decision and your prescriber's recommendation. But if you do decide to take it or you decide to not take it, that's your decision. Do it with the assistance of a licensed prescribing provider. Uh, but you can always add this either way, whether you take medication or not for your anxiety and depression, and it will help you to feel that calmness, you know, relaxation, reduce your anxiety, improve your depression. So, which is practically what these uh, prescriptions and drugs attempt to induce in the brain as far as your chemistry. So, you're not going to lose an eyeball, limb, or life for doing yoga, whether you take medication or not for these conditions. So, that is all for today. If you have any questions, please reach out to me at www.ignitebestpractices.com. Thank you and have a great day. Bye bye.